Let's turn your repetitive task into self-running systems. Whether you are a do-it-yourself learner or a business owner looking to get more done with less time and cost. Today's automation project is going to show you exactly how that is possible. Alright, let's hop into my browser and dive straight into today's demo.
Today, we're going to be building a very special automation workflow with N8N. And I told you about N8N, the flexibility of it, the compatibility of it, the ease of use of it, and several other benefits that it offers. This project is all about AI agents. And of course, today AI has become a commonplace that you almost cannot scale in your business today without using AI. And AI agent is actually changing the game for every business today. So if you have not integrated AI agents or AI technologies into your business or into your workflow, I tell you, you are far behind. So today we're going to learn this simple and easy to use automation workflow, and which we can as well integrate into your business and start flowing and start scaling like never before, right? So this is just the body of the workflow. I'm going to show you the brain, or what I call the head. So the body actually is going to provide for us the information that we need to work with when we eventually start working on the head or the brain. You're going to have your information base somewhere, or what you call knowledge base somewhere, maybe in your CRM or something like Google Sheets, Airtable, Supabase, any other database platforms that you want to use. And from there, you can retrieve those information real time to be usable for your AI agents. So we want to create a database where we have all our information embedded right in there, and then we'll ask our AI agent to fetch the information there. When the customer or when the user asks for such an information, it's going to fetch it from the database and present it, tailoring it to the request, right, of the user. So over here, we're going to create a Google folder in a Google Drive. This folder will contain all the information that we need our AI to retrieve data from. So the first thing that will happen there, I'm still going to show you how to build this just in a very short while on any canvas. This node here is simply going to update the file. Over here, this second node here is going to essentially filter out the file ID, right? And this other one here is just the Supabase. Supabase is your database platform where you're going to store your information, and from there the AI agent can retrieve the information. It's going to be delete node, and what that means is that maybe you want to update the information that you have there, you want to update your data so that the AI agent will not create multiple information running there. And if multiple information is created, this particular node is going to help to delete any instance of the multiple copies, right? That's what that does. Then the limit node here is going to retrieve one information at a time. That's for the limit node. And then for the Google download, this is essentially going to help download the information from your Google Drive folder. Is going to help download it into your database, which is Supabase in this case. And then this Supabase vector store is a database actually of your information that is going to help convert any file. And essentially, maybe I should explain a bit what Supabase vector does, because it's quite different from other database platforms like Airtable, Zapier, and the rest of them. The difference is that whatever file that you upload into Supabase vector store is going to be split into bit and be converted into digit and strings, such that when you go to your database, you will see such file being split into different segments, right? And then this particular one here, this node here is data loader, as you can see in the label. It's going to essentially help to load the data in your Supabase vector. And over here, we have the embedding model. This embedding model here is essentially talking about the AI embedding model that you're going to use, maybe such as Gemini and the rest of the LLM models. And then let's go over to the AI agent systems. So this is what I call the head or the brain of your database. This is essentially what's going to make your database interactive and then make the data in there usable. So once that database over here is created, then you are going to essentially create this AI agent that's going to retrieve the information from your database. The AI agent is going to go into your vector store data base, and will help retrieve the information that you have stored in there. So you want to ensure that you connect your database over here using this node to your AI agent so it can work with it real time. The final one here is the chat trigger. So this particular instance here is where we eventually publish the AI agent online or make it live for anyone to interact with. Maybe you want to embed it in your website, or you want to use it to create an application that is essentially for chat. But in this case, maybe you're going to embed this in your social media, so that if any of your audience or your followers, maybe they want to chat with you, they can easily chat with this, your AI agent. So you want to publish your AI agent after building, and that's where this particular part of the workflow comes to play. All right, let's go over to N8N Canvas. So here we are on N8N Canvas. I'm just essentially going to show you every single node here, and then we're going to run it eventually. Okay, over here, let's start with it. This is the AI agent here, and over here is the workflow that I showed you earlier. And this is the third one I showed you, which is the chat trigger, right? So let me start with the database. I told you earlier from that diagram, of course, you can relate with this, what I have here now, because that's exactly what we have in the diagram that I showed you previously. So we're going to first of all create, you can see the node here, when the file is created in the folder, that's in the Google Drive folder. So essentially, if you want to create any node here, these two nodes are trigger nodes. So this one is to create, and if I open it for you, you can see the programming here. What you're essentially going to do is to connect your Google Drive. It's very easy to connect it. You just simply connect it with your sign in with Google. Once you do that, you just essentially need to do a few authentication. Okay, that's for this. And then you're going to do the same thing for this other node here. And then when you come over to edit fields, this is essentially ID of the file that you uploaded in your Google Drive folder. So I'm going to show you the Google Drive. This is my Google Drive, for example, and I have a folder created right in there. This is the folder here, N8N Rack 2. And then if I open the folder, you can see the files that I have in here. So how do you get the ID of this folder? If you look up here, if I open this folder, for example, it's essentially going to show you the ID up here. So you can see the ID up here. This particular node here is a delete node. It's a Supabase delete node that is going to help delete any instance of duplicated copies, right? So that is what this particular node works for. And then we'll move on to the limit node. So this limit node is going to ensure that one is output. So you want to ensure that one file at a time, one item at a time is output. Let's move to the next one. This next one here is download file, right? This is Google Drive node. And what this does actually, that file that you uploaded into your Google Drive folder is going to help to download that file into your Supabase. So we're going to retrieve the ID, from that particular file and put it here so that this download node can actually work on that particular file, right? Once it is uploaded, whatever file that is uploaded, we already have a variable here that we use to capture every single file that is uploaded. And then this is where the magic is for this particular node. The magic is that once the file is uploaded into your Google Drive folder, you want to ensure that every file that is flowing from the previous node is as clean as possible, right? So that the next one can actually accept it. So that is why we have this over here. So every file that is coming from this node will have to be a PDF file. So when you upload that file into that Google Drive folder, it's going to essentially be converted into a PDF format. So let's go over to the next thing. The next thing now is the Supabase vector store. There are a number of things that you need to do over here, right? The first thing is to ensure that you connect this Supabase to the vector store, and that is another external site. So, but once you connect it over here, if you click on this pencil icon here, you're going to get the Supabase URL right here. I'll show you where to copy it. And then over here too, you're going to get the service secret. And that's all. That's how you connect this Supabase vector store node to the Supabase. And I'll show you now on how to connect it. Okay, so if you want to connect your Supabase site to your Supabase node, you come over here. I already open it. You can see already we are. Let me go back to the home page. This is the project we are currently working with. So if you want to create a new project, you go over here, new project, and you're going to essentially create new one. If you open this particular project, now over here, if you come to table editor, you're going to see where to actually create a table, or you will see if you already have a table in there, you're going to see the information of the table, right? But how do you create this table? The way you create this table is to actually use this SQL editor, right? The SQL editor here. So you click on run here to create a table. Once you enter your script, you might want to ask, why do I have to write this script? I don't know how to code. How do I write this? So do not worry. You are not going to write any code. So how do you generate this script then? You go over to N8N, you click on this. If you click on this document here, and you scroll down, you're going to see quick start for setting up your vector store. So if you click on this, it takes you to this particular place. You simply copy this, right? And once you copy it, you go over to Supabase site and drop it right here and then click run. Okay, but something else that you need to do here is the fact that this particular script was created using OpenAI embedding as the default vector size or vector dimension. If you need to use another embedding model or chart model or the vector dimension right here. So what you need to do, it was originally 1536. I had to change it to 3072, which is the embedding size of the AI model that I'm using. And of course, I'm using Gemini, right? So I had to change it everywhere. There was 1536. I had to change it to 3072. You can see, but we only have it in two places, here and here. All right. So that's essentially how to create a table. Okay. So once that is done, so how do we now connect this one and even this one? So what you do is, having created that table on Supabase, you come over here, you come down to where you have settings, project settings, and then you move this way, and then you can see over here you have data API. So you're going to click on this data API, and then you come over here, you're going to see the primary database. So you copy this first one, that is the URL of the Supabase, and that's what we have in here. Let's go over again to, let's open this. So you can see the Supabase URL right here. Paste it here. And then for the service role secret, you go back to Supabase one more time. Then you come back to, you go to where you have API key. Then you're going to click on it to open. Then you come over here to service role secret. You click on review to open. Then you copy, right? Then you come back to N8N and then you paste it here and go ahead and save. So you go back to N8N interface. The next thing is for us to connect the data loader and embedding model. So the embedding model here is Gemini, as you can see. So I needed to use the Gemini API. So what I simply did was to click on this to connect it, and I will need the URL, the Gemini URL, which is this, right? So how do I get my API? You can come over to your far right and create new API. If you click on this, it's going to give you a dialog tab with which to create your API. So you copy, once you create your API, you copy from here, and then you can go over to N8N, drop it right here, and click save or connect. Okay, so that's it for building information center. And then for the AI that is going to retrieve the information that we've built here, we come over to AI agent, then it's going to load it, you input it. Once you are done with that, you go to the AI agent, and for the AI agent, once you click and open it, it's essentially going to show you this interface. And of course, you know that we are working with the file ID, and that's why I drop file ID right here. And over here, I just simply gave it a prompt. So that's it for the AI agent. If you go back, and you need to connect this, as I already explained all of this, the chat model here, and the same way we did for this embedding model, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to essentially connect this chat model with the API and the default URL. Over here, if you can remember our diagram, we have the memory. This is the memory here. And this memory here is progress chart memory. And this was gotten from Supabase. Let me show you. Okay, let me open so we're essentially going to connect it with an API as well. If you go to Supabase, you're going to see essentially the same thing. Over here, you can see the host, the database, the user, the password, and of course you can see the port here. So these are the things that we're going to fill in right here. So how do we get all of these details? So we come over to Supabase, and then we'll come to this particular point where you see connect. You click on it, and then you go to where you have transaction puller, right? Then you click on this drop down here to open. So once you open, you're going to essentially see all those information I just showed you on N8N node for progress chart memory. The password is going to be the password of your database. This last thing here is connecting the most important part of the workflow, which is the database that the AI agent is going to work with. So once again, I'm going to do essentially what I did here. One thing you have to ensure you do here is the fact that the same credential you use to connect this one, exact same thing you're going to use to connect this one. If you use different one, it will not be able to connect, right? And once you are done with that, you want to put an embedding model here. So you can see over here, I don't need data loader because the data has already been loaded into a Supabase vector store. So I don't need default data loader. So once you are done with that, you're good to go. Let's test it. There are two ways to actually test it. You can test it from here by clicking on this chart, or you can come over here and chart, right? So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to say hello. Okay, you can say hello. How can I help you today? Oh, my name is Simpson. See what it's going to say. Nice to meet you, Simpson. How can I help you today? So let's try something. If I say, what is my name? Let's see whether the memory will work, because it is the memory that works in this case. You should be able to remember that my name is Simpson. What is my name? Question mark. Let me see. Let's see whether it will remember. Okay, you see it remembered. But let's try out something. I want to disconnect this memory and let's check if it will remember me. My name is Daniel. Okay, you can say, okay, Daniel, how can I help you? Now let's ask, what is my name? If it will remember. I am designed not to ask for your personally identifiable information, that is PII. Therefore, I do not have access to your name. Can you hear that? Because it doesn't have a memory. So let's go ahead and connect the memory again. We are done with this. So something else that we need to do is that I want us to upload another document. Now, this part is very important, and that is what makes this project exceptionally different. Now, this project will work 100% of the time. What I mean by that is that once you put in a document, it will convert the document to PDF, and it will automatically be loaded into the Supabase vector store. Now, we're going to upload a new document into that folder and then see if it will capture it, embed it in the vector store, and then we're going to come over here and ask it questions about that particular file. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google folder. I'll come here. This is the Google folder. So I'm going to upload a document that I already have in my laptop. And it's done. Now, this document is about, let me open it for you to see. So this document is about Google's $15 billion Indian AI infrastructure hub. That is what it's all about. So let's come over here to N8N. We're going to save. So we're going to say, tell me about Google's $15 billion Indian AI infrastructure hub, right? It's retrieving the information, as you can see over here. It's fetching the information. Look at it. Look at the information that is given. So you can see it right here. Okay. So now we're going to close this up and we go over to publish the chat trigger. And that's the last thing we're going to do. So if you double click on it, it will open the interface, and this is where you can configure the chat trigger. And said over here, you can see a chat publicly available. So we want to publish this right now, make it live for our audience to see. So you can come over here. Once you toggle this button, it's going to generate a URL for you with which you can embed it anywhere right? So we're going to copy this URL. You can actually edit the initial message, right? The welcome message of the AI agent, right? Once you open the chat trigger, this is going to pop up. Welcome to CTech. My name is, let's say my name is C. How can I assist you today? Right? So that's going to be our welcome message to our audience. So let's go to another tab, and then we're gonna, so you come over here and ensure to save here, right? And you can toggle this button on to also activate it, because if you don't activate it here, it will not go live, right? So let's go to another tab. This is the way to actually host it. So I'm going to paste the URL right here, and I'll hit enter. You can see it has opened the interface, and you can see the welcome message. Now let's begin chatting. Hello, my name is Simpson. Click enter. He said, nice to meet you, Simpson. How can I help you today? So now let me go ahead and ask the question I asked earlier. My name is Simpson. I want to know about Google's hub in India. So let's see. Okay, so you can see it. Google is building a global connectivity hub in India that will host data center infrastructure, subsea cable landings. You can see all the other information right there, a summary of it. Thank you. Say thank you. What is my name? Let's see what is my name. You can see everything is working perfectly well now. Okay, so that's essentially it.
I hope this walkthrough gave you some ideas for your next automation project. If you would like me to help you automate your workflow or project you would love to bring to life, just drop a comment below or reach out to me directly. I'll be happy to help you. Remember, automation isn't about doing less, it's about doing more of what really matters, as you save time, money, and effort. See you in the next one. Bye for now.